Sunday's here, NFL takeover is real. From the first snap to the final whistle we feel. Packers in the mix, Chiefs on the rise. Patriots grinding, Eagles soaring high. Fantasy points stack, best place, no joke. Monday Night Football, that's where we provoke. Action-packed, every hit, every call. The boys with the heat, we cover it all. From the college fields to the Super Bowl dreams, we narrate the action, we the football kings. Coast to coast, every yard, every throw, we bring the fire, it's time to let it glow. Are you ready for some football? Coast to coast, from the college game to the NFL, we do the most. Monday nights, the boys bringing all the heat, we the squad on the mic, ain't no one can compete. Touchdowns, big plays, lights up in the sky, huddle up, it's game time, we ready to fly. From the cop to the clock hit zero, we the voices of the game, the real heroes. Boys with the heat, we stay on the grind. Football's in our blood, it's all in our mind. From the cop to the clock hit zero, we the voices of the game, the real heroes. Boys with the heat, we stay on the grind. Football's in our blood, it's all in our mind. From the college fields to the Super Bowl dreams. We narrate the action, we the football kings. From the college fields to the Super Bowl dreams, we narrate the action, we the football kings. Coast to coast, every yard, every throw, we bring the fire, it's time to let it glow. Are you ready for some football? Coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast. From the college game to the NFL, we do the most. Monday nights, the boys bringing all the heat. We the squad on the mic, ain't no one can compete. Touchdowns, big plays, lights up in the sky. Huddle up, it's game time, we ready to fly. From kickoff to the clock hit zero, we the voices of the game, the real heroes. Boys with the heat, we stay on the grind. Football's in our blood, it's all in our mind.
What the hell?
Yeah, it just disappears.
Nice. Sorry, I was switching defenses.
You're balls deep in picking your defense
For the upcoming week.
Hey, we all gotta go for that.
By the grace of the football.
Hey,
God,
Paul, I'm
baby,
not gonna knock your football
God.
pickup, by the way. You did drop the Jets defense and
You
pick
see
up the
what I-
Bears. And that Bears defense probably did get you a win. So I guess it's not the dumbest thing I've seen this week.
Between Saquon Barkley and then 33.2 points.
Mike is probably a little bit bitter about that.
Listen,
when you picked him, I was like, he's
listen.
gonna be pissed at you.
As soon as the draft was done, he sent me a message. I fucking hate you.
I figured that happened.
Listen, and the fact that I had to play him week one, I know it just wanted. If he could drive up to Georgetown and whoop my ass, he would have that same day. But unfortunately, when we did the draft, I was not in the state of Texas, so he just has to. It was a rough week for you.
It was bad because when you picked him, I was like, oh, this means Saquon's going to have a stupid game. Like, he's going to have a retarded game because it always happens. Last year in our other league, I missed out on A.J. Brown by $1 because we're doing that stupid salary cap draft. And the first game of the season, he had a monster game. He went for 125 and 2 tuds. And I was like, see, as soon as you picked him, I was like, this motherfucker is going to have a monster game. And not only did you get Saquon, you got Jake Elliott, you son of a bitch. And Jake Elliott gave you like 10 or 11 points.
Listen, I don't want to brag because I am a humble human being.
Not in the 15 years I've known you.
But I not only did I beat you, as my wife likes to say, I tat that ass.
Play each other twice. You're in the same conference. You play each other twice, so you got a chance for redemption. So
we'll see if that happens. That Saquon pick is huge for him because Saquon's gonna have a monster year this year.
But you get the Bears defense can take a shit on him, so that he's really relying on their defense a lot.
So. No. It depends who's playing. Calm down. I'm not stupid. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna tell you all that.
Charles, who did you pick up for a backup today?
I gotta tell you.
I gotta tell you.
Find out.
I just knew that when I looked at the lineup and I picked the Jets, I was, of course, yes, I thought the Jets, Sauce Gardner, All that went into consideration when I drafted them. However, when I saw that they were playing San Francisco, as much as the mediocrity of Brock Purdy goes floating around, the weapons are still there. And I'm like, I know that at least with Tennessee, I might have a better shot of at least getting 10 to 15 points than I did with the Jets. And clearly, I got 21 points out of it, which picking Chicago up, because y'all motherfuckers said I looked real suspicious over here swapping out the Jets for the Bears. At least long term, it might not pay out, but at least for week 1, it worked.
It can't be as bad as the backup running back for San Francisco, knowing he was starting on Friday, and nobody else on planet Earth finding out until 90 minutes before kickoff.
But did you see what Shanahan said though? He said, "I didn't tell him he was starting Friday. I told him just get ready." But I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense.
That's fucking dirty though. I don't give a shit. That's dirty. The NFL's got to be better than that.
Now the kid got in trouble for opening his mouth and whatnot, but
I'm like, whoever picked him up last minute,
and then not tell people that you involved in your shady shit.
That was shady as hell. But whoever picked him up, whoever picked up Mason,
I think it was a very small percentage. I think.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that guy's rostered very much.
Well, hold on.
Somebody in my other league picked him up because he had CMC. And he picked him up as soon as the report came out that he wasn't starting. He went and picked him up off the waiver wire.
So somebody had him on their team, and he's on a waiver claim right now. So he wasn't even rostered last week. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
If you're the Jets, if you're Robert Saleh, if you're Robert Saleh.
I gotta give a huge shout out.
13% of leagues, and now he's rostered in 41% of leagues.
That's because the issue could very well last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, right. They did talk about his calf injury as an ACL, so I'm thinking it's more of an ACL injury than it is a calf injury.
That's yeah. So I had done a football psyops or psyops?
Seance?
Seance?
Not you doing a seance.
Samson?
Oh, my guy.
Pre-draft night, I was doing a football seance. That's right.
A football seance? You were blowing smoke?
Yeah.
He had the Ouija board out and shit.
That's why Charles won. He knew this was going to happen. That's why he was so cool as a cucumber last night. Just chill.
I understood that with my draft position that there was no way I was going to see CMC. But I was like, yo, we're friends. CMC and I, we won a championship together. That basically makes us brothers.
Oh yeah,
the bond runs deep.
And I don't think he saw it that way.
It doesn't have to see it that way. It's okay.
It's an unknown brotherhood.
Yes.
It's an unspeaking truth, okay? It's an unspeaking truth. We don't have to speak.
So you're saying that because of y'all's bond, he knew that he couldn't let you down, so he had to sit out so you could win.
Yeah. He was like,
got it.
I can't be on your team this year, but I got you week 1, baby.
Got you.
I needed 50 from Debo.
He's like,
so he helped you without helping you.
Oh yeah. So he was like, he found a way to help me one more time.
That is very unfortunate that a team you had to come down to getting 0 points like Brent did from him. You didn't have a big enough lead that you were like, I'm screwed. I'm literally screwed, and it's last minute screwed.
CMC screwed so many people's week 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so did fucking Travis Kelce.
Mark Andrews.
What did Kelsey do anyway?
I think
Kelce got me like 8 points.
Oh, that must be nice, bro.
Listen, Andrews only got me 3. So calm down.
Let's bring this up. We're on a podcast right now. Let's bring it up. Kelsey Brothers just got $100 million podcast contract. That is more money than he's making in the NFL. Do you really think he gives a shit?
I'm like,
About-
he
no.
says
about
he
football?
says he only got 2-3 years left in him. He said.
I doubt he's even going to have that because his brother's going to need him. You don't do a podcast on the occasion when you're trying to like interview celebrities and all this other stuff. He's bringing in big names. This is his retirement.
He
Oh, yeah.
needs a ring that will impress his lady, and this podcast is. Gonna
I heard that it got leaked that they're breaking up September 28th.
We'll
Why?
see.
28.
It's a joke. It's a running joke on the internet that somebody
I need
fake leaked it. from
Am
his-
I missing articles?
Oh yeah.
No, it's all
Yeah.
fucking bullshit. In fact, Travis Kelsey sent a cease and desist to that person. Was like, bro, not okay. I will sue the fuck out of you.
That's wild. You have to for clickbait. You're out here pushing.
Wait
Hey,
a minute, so we can say whatever we want, and then once we're told we can't say it, we just have to stop saying it.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I think that's usually how it works.
Oh, we lost. We're losing Patrick.
It's all right. It's okay. He's coming back. I know.
He'll be
I can
co-
feel
oh,
it.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, wow.
I'm like,
He will pop back in.
I
So
I
how
don't
did your
want
fantasy matchup go.
which league.
The boys in the Woods League.
I did great. I'm like, again, no disrespect to my best friend,
Well, this is fantasy league. There's no disrespect.
but I beat him 147 to 108.
Yeah, he did.
Damn.
Yeah, he sure shit did.
My
You got
high
any hair
score
left on them cheeks, bro.
between Saquon Barkley 33, Cooper Cup 32, my defense 26.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my
Oh,
flex,
and I think I have fucking Joe Burrow too.
yeah, that did not work out.
Got 8
That did
points.
not
Dude,
work out.
Chase
You
was
lost to New
targeted.
England.
Yeah, Jamar Chase was targeted 2 times.
New England. And you lost
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about come part 2. I'm very
I-
excited about that.
But I think I did good. Out of all the leagues that I care about,
Yeah.
I lost in 2 of them out of the 4.
Okay.
I lost in my week 1 matchup in my championship league, but it's okay. I allowed myself to trust Amari Cooper and Massage Watson. I will not do that again.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
I'm putting
Amari is my number 2.
yeah, no,
I'm
I'm-
sitting now as a flex.
Amari is my flex, so I swapped him out for Xavier Worthy.
I put Tony Pollard in.
Because what's not going to happen, I'm not about to leave 20 points on the bench again. Because in that league, I lost by 3.6 points.
Is that our league?
Yes, I lost by 3.6. So if I would have had Worthy, I would have won. But it's okay.
Did you not check the over-unders on Worthy before the
This-
game started?
I did
His
not.
over-under was 48 yards and it was a touchdown. So
He-
that's a good flex.
That was a rookie mistake on my part. It
No,
shall
no,
not
no.
happen twice.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson. I shall not let that happen. But
It's always good to check the money.
yeah,
I love
And,
checking the money before fantasy.
Yeah.
the league for my church, I was down bad. I was down bad.
Yeah.
I was down by 30 points.
Yeah.
No, 20 points. 20 points.
Okay.
I came back and I tapped that ass. Moody gave me 26 points as a kicker,
Yeah.
and I came back 144 to 126.
Ooh.
Damn.
When I say I got the most rudest text message I could ever receive from somebody,
This is
From a church
league?
person.
listen, because how does a kicker get more than both of our quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Them
That's
field
a
goals,
Michigan-
man.
That's a
Them
Michigan
field
man.
goals.
Yeah, he's a Michigan man.
Yeah.
Jake Moody.
Them 2 interceptions by Jalen Hurts pissed me off. And the fumble. I know the
Yeah,
fumble
but-
wasn't his fault.
He still
But
got
when I said 11 of 17 or 16 games last year, the dude would have 3 fucking points going into the 4th quarter and then pull 17 to 21 out his ass when he could have had 30 if he just played the fucking game of football.
Because if he without those 2 picks and that fumble, that's 6 points already in itself. And this
Yeah.
again, and that's not telling how the rest of the drive
would
would have
went,
gone.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
that's 6
trust me.
points. That's
All
22
season
points.
last year.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
All
frustrating.
season last year. You'd be averaging 30 fantasy points a week if you
Easy.
would stop throwing the ball to the other
Easy.
fucking team, dude. Stop it.
Easy. Now, granted, the thing that really did help me, one, Jordan Love going down didn't help because he went down towards the end of the game. However, him losing Puka Nacua helped me huge, and which also helped me
Week 1
in
and
our
injuries
league
seem to be a theme.
because Cooper Kupp got all them touches that would have been going to split between
At
him
least
and
a
Puka.
third of them would have went
Yeah.
to Puka. Yes.
And so Kupp got those, and that kind of.
That's the thing with Deebo Samuel. I'm super stoked he got points, but there are 3 situations I'm like, I don't know if Deebo gets the ball there, right? Two runs for sure. The one on the goal line, I'm not sure. That's situational dependent. If CMC was trucking down the field like old boy was, they were just going to hand it off to him again at the 1 yard line.
But Mason was hot though, so they kept feeding him the ball. He was hot, so there was no point to give Deebo the ball.
They would give it to Deebo a few times. Yeah. I am happy with Deebo. I think I'm going to get a comfortable 15 plus from him every week.
Yeah.
I think my floor with Deebo is 15, and that's super exciting. Not so happy about Jamar Chase.
Dude,
I'm sure that'll get figured out.
Them 8 points, them 8 points was not it.
Yeah, no shit. 8 points from your starting quarterback is, jeez, what the fuck is going on?
That's
I know
wild.
Cincinnati has like the worst offensive line in the history of the fucking league at this point, but come on, you still have what's his name, T. Higgins too. You still have fucking.
He was
Jamar
out,
Chase.
but T. Higgins
was out.
Yeah.
And I
But
think
They were missing quite a few people. And
but
New England, listen, New England's question is on offense. Defensively, New England's going to be good again this year. They've got pieces. They've got dogs. They lost one to Atlanta. That didn't seem to matter.
But here's the thing, though. Do we see how much of a factor losing Joe Mixon is for Cincinnati? Because he was a dog in Houston.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that the loss of Joe Mixon, the loss of a steady running back is going to kill Cincinnati, because now I don't know who their starting running back is. And you just took out a third of the playbook for Joe Burrow, because play action pass in Cincinnati was huge. So you take play action pass out because your running game isn't a threat anymore. You're fucked. You're completely fucked. On top of having a shit line.
I think we can all agree Cincinnati's front office destroyed their Super Bowl chances.
Oh, they're not doing squat this year.
They didn't pay who they were supposed to pay. You have such a good team, right? Like I never understood the T. Higgins. I never understood it. You could have signed and traded him for significant pieces. Utilized that cash flow to beef up your offensive line.
You could have got good capital for Higgins.
Allow for a much better running scenario for Mixon. He would have stayed. Money in the bank. You sniped Burrow out of the sky with a contract. You jumped on that faster than everyone, and now you're like, listen, we paid one guy. All right, I don't know what to tell you.
Joe Burrow's prime at this point is wasted.
I'm pissed. I took Chase over Taylor.
And this is the thing. Burrow, this whole situation is just jacked up, because it's
I got a lot of waiver wire work. Yeah, I know that.
I gotta figure out, because I drafted Chase in one of my leagues, and I gotta figure out how this is gonna work out, because I don't know. And then on top of that, I got to figure out this Tank Dell situation, because Stephon Diggs might be more instrumental in Houston than I might have calculated.
Yeah. Well, and that's I stayed away from Houston this year because of that. I don't know how the Stephon Diggs effect and
you got Nico,
the rebound for two. Yeah, the two people I would have been. There's I think 3 on the team. I wasn't super high on Diggs, but it would have been Nico, Mixon, and C.J. Stroud. Yeah. At the end of the season, when Tank Dell went out towards the end of the season there for Houston, they built up such a rapport.
Yeah,
it was going to be a target machine. I'm bummed I missed out on Nico.
Now, my other big issue is this Marvin Harrison Jr. situation with Kyler Murray. The fact that he missed him wide open for a game-tying touchdown, he was just in that open field and didn't even.
Bro, that's why when everybody was like, "Oh, Marvin Harrison's he's gonna come in, he's gonna kill the game," I'm like, y'all are forgetting who his quarterback is. Kyler Murray is still 5'2",
And this
playing behind guys who are 6'5".
This is
Yes.
my thing though. Like Marvin Harrison, when I see his height, I think this is like having another D hop for him. Like just throw it up there. Like he's gonna get it, but the fact that you're not utilizing him to his full potential is low key disappointing. I know it's just week 1. I'm not trying to just.
An offensive line has a hell of a lot to do with your ability to throw the ball.
If you can't
with
see over
any
him.
form of consistent. No, I'm not even talking. Listen, Kyler Murray's height is what it is. Kyler Murray has proven that he can play in the NFL. So did Drew Brees, and he's in the same conversation.
You are
it's the
correct.
same conversation we have with Lamar Jackson until he wins the Super Bowl, right? Like we're going to have these conversations. Arizona's offensive line is terrible. And when you are tiny running for your life, you're not going to have the ability to be that accurate. I do stand on the same stool as you, though. Their PR is, I think it's a week 1 thing. And I think there needs to be a building moment. Because let's be honest, do we think that Marvin Harrison is the type of guy to go hang out with Kyler Murray on the beach and catch footballs?
Probably
Absolutely not.
No, he's catching footballs in his backyard with his dad. So where you're building the rapport in that scenario is practice.
And that falls on Kyler that if you're not,
game time.
you gotta, you're the quarterback, you're the leader of this offense. So
if I text you, hey, you want to go catch balls, and you don't answer, what am I supposed to do?
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely.
Where it's an assumption here, but realistically, it's probably a pretty good one. You still can't buy the dude's jersey.
Yeah, but the other thing
somebody's selling them because they're out there. He's just not making money off of them.
The other thing that I think people don't take into account too is that Jonathan Gannon is a defensive head coach. Like, Jonathan Gannon doesn't know dick about offense, and their offensive line is crap. If you're 5'10" or whatever Kyler is, and you're running for your life, like Charles just said, it's different than if you're 6'2". If you're CJ Stroud and you have to move a little bit, or you're Jordan Love and you have to move a little bit because your offensive line is a little shaky, it's different. Like, Jordan Love was making throws on Friday where I was like, oh shit, this kid is reading defenses really, really well. There are mistakes, like we talked about offline. He's a year 2 quarterback, so he's still developing. But the difference is Kyler Murray is athletic, but his field of vision is so small that when you have an offensive line that has that many problems, you don't have the ability to overcome that. Whereas a CJ Stroud, a Jordan Love, those guys have the ability to overcome it a little bit. So I think that Arizona's an interesting situation because everybody's, they're going to be great in the West. And I'm like, nah, they're not. Like, having one weapon.
I'm not putting my faith in Arizona to do all that. Well, they have the potential to be great, but if they can't fix that offensive line, like Charles says, I'm like, it's going to be a long year for them because Kyler's going to be running for his life. And trust me, when I know what a quarterback looks like running for his life.
Yeah, and that's and two, like you had mentioned, it's week 1. They were playing the Buffalo Bills, and honestly, I think, and not because we'll discuss this in part 2. But, not to touch on it too deeply. I think the conversation needs to be more about how well they played against Buffalo, and how well Buffalo handled adversity, and Josh Allen came back and just did Josh Allen things. Personally, that's more what I saw than really because if we want to talk about game-tying misses, the ultimate game-tying miss happened Thursday night 2 times in a row. You had Lamar Jackson miss the guy twice, right?
And Zay Flowers.
And then you had Zay Flowers. There was massive misses by massive people who make way more money than 5'2" Kyler Murray. I don't blame a guy who literally just came out of college and from the outside looking in, appears to be a pretty rough person to build a rapport with.
Yeah.
Right? I got practice time with you, and that's it. Otherwise, you're working on you being the best athlete you can be, and that's fantastic. But that doesn't help the team. That helps you.
Yeah.
I mean, but we'll see. We'll see, because it's something I talk about a lot. I've talked about it on the show. I've brought it up often. But I like to hear about football. I don't give a frank about anything else.
Yeah.
And when the only thing you have to talk about is everything other than football, you're telling me what I need to know about your football.
Yep.
And Marvin Harrison, I didn't pick him in the draft, in the fantasy draft because of this. Malik Neighbors, the same thing. You saw a couple catches, and then you saw him wide open and the ball not making it to him. Okay, yeah, Malik Neighbors is going to be a talent, but the dude throwing him the ball isn't going to get me any fucking points.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Caleb Williams. The first football chatter we heard was how terrible he was, and tongue in cheek there. Terrible is a very strong word, but in lieu of blah blah blah. And then it started to be, oh, he's a great person. He's got great character. He's telling people to pick up the trash in the locker room. That's a leader. I want to get behind that guy.
Right.
It's like, okay, but what about the fucking football? Then it came time to football, and you did all that dancing shit and it worked around with 3s and 5s. That's awesome. But we were all saying now it's number 1 time. So that's why I was iffy on the Bears for the draft. Now my hope is people get pissed and drop players, and I truly do believe that Caleb will pick it up. I don't think he's going to be a fantasy fucking number 12 goddamn quarterback in the league, but fantasy wise, but I do believe that he's going to get touchdowns. I do believe he's going to get yards. So I like the Bears offense, which sounds weird. Fantasy wise, more in the second half than I do in the first half. And what sounds weird about that in PR is the first half of their schedule is the fucking easiest. The second half, I think Caleb's going to play better in that scenario.
I'm taking it week by week at this point when it comes to Caleb and just the Bears in general. I'm not trying to get. Again.
Your fantasy pickup for their defense was genius.
Again, I've been doing this fantasy football shit for 15 years. So yeah. I'm like, do I have it down to a science? No, but I know how to make moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've won a couple of these things.
For example, I just pre-show was looking, and I realized the defense I had was playing against the Dallas Cowboys next week. There ain't no fucking way.
I'm not risking that.
There's no way. Does it end up in the Arizona? Dak throws 3 touchdowns and blah, or 3 pick sixes.
I talked to one of my friends offline, and because I
lose more lottery tickets than you win.
He clowned me because he knows that I'm a big Bear fan. He goes, "Why would you?" We were just swapping lineups because he plays for a different league. Like, he's in a whole nother league, period. Yeah. And we were swapping our lineups, and he's, bro, 2 out of your 3 leagues in ESPN, you picked up the Bears. And I was like, yeah. He goes, can you not just be a Bears fan for once? Like, first of all, fucker. That's not why I picked him up. And because there's been plenty of years that I've drafted Aaron Rodgers and people gave me shit. How are you going to pick somebody that you hate? Listen, I may hate him on the field, but when it comes to this fantasy football shit, I'm not stupid. Aaron Rodgers is going to put points on my goddamn team.
Yeah. The only thing I don't do is put money on my favorite team. I put money on Michigan basketball to win one time. It was a few years ago in Michigan.
So I'm like, am I going to keep the Bears defense for the rest of the year? I don't know. Again, it's all dependent on who's playing. And because let's say I might not want them for Houston, but let's say CJ Stroud goes down. I'm keeping them because I'm not trusting Davis to do shit.
Yeah.
So again, it's
purely situational. Me and the waiver wire,
our best friends.
Oh my God, we're so much more than that.
I
go on naked and afraid, and we are no longer afraid.
This is the thing that I like about
the waiver wire.
This is what I like about our the league that me and Mike are in. So it's an auction. It's a silent auction for the waiver wire. Last year, I spent maybe you get $100 for the whole season, right? That first day after the waiver wire, you bid for somebody that you want to hopefully nobody outbids you. Yeah. Last year, out of that $100, I spent $11. I waited till Wednesday. and be like, I'm fine. I'll get sloppy seconds of what nobody else wanted, and I bet you I'll still find somebody.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening? Fucking went and won
Yeah.
the whole
It's
damn
my favorite
game.
part about fantasy football is the dance.
Watching people drop.
It's understanding that drafting is you look at it, you look at the whole fantasy season as a 60-minute clock.
Yeah.
Drafting is 5 minutes of that 60-minute clock.
Listen, it's chess, not checkers.
Once the draft is there, that's awesome. It's over. You can lose your fantasy league in the draft. 100%. You can lose your fantasy league.
But you can win it in the waiver wire.
But you can't win it. You cannot win your fantasy league in the draft. Even me last year with my championship, the team I ended with while playing, regardless whether it was one person or two, the bench was completely different.
Yes.
But the team I won with was nowhere near the team I drafted.
Not even in the slightest. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 players that I stuck with that I initially drafted the whole time.
Yeah.
From
That's
beginning
the
to
hardest part
end.
about fantasy.
And I'm watching bye weeks. That's the biggest thing for me. I'm watching bye weeks. Because I'm like, one of you motherfuckers is gonna have to drop a good player at some point.
So we'll wrap this up here with our sneaky best pick. What do you think will end up being your sneaky best pick in the league? Mine I think is gonna end up being Tony fucking Pollard, to be honest with you.
For me,
I think Tennessee is gonna be handing the ball off a lot. The Will Levis experiment has confirmed failed.
I think for me, my sneaky pick is gonna be one of 2 people. It's either gonna be what's his name? Rashid Shaheed from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Or just like he was for me last year, so I don't know if this counts as a sneaky, but Jalen Warren from Pittsburgh as the second running back for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But I think Shaheed is probably going to step up and be that top 2 guy for New Orleans, and I think he's going to ball out this year because last year he had sparks, but I think this year he pushes over that line and solidifies himself as one of the top 2 receivers, like as a top wide receiver 2 in the league. And I think he's going to be a good flex for me moving down the league this season.
Now, what about you, Mike?
I think Chris Godwin might actually end up being my sneaky best pick as my flex.
Baker Mayfield, the resurgence of Baker Mayfield. I love it. I love seeing. I can't wait to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mike Evans is going to have a Mike Evans year. That's what he does. But I think Chris Godwin slipped under enough people's radar where they forget he can have 1,000-yard seasons as a number 2.
He's scary good.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be my sneaky best pick, but my complete best pick was definitely in this league getting Justin Jefferson. That I can't believe that should happen.
Bro, JJ's a dog, dude. All you got to do is it's just like Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson made Charlie Batch look good. And it's just all you got to do is throw the ball, and the ball finds.
Megatron is going to do what he's supposed to do.
It's when I watch JJ, it reminds me of Megatron.
Just throw it out there.
I'm so glad. I hate that he doesn't play for my team, but I'm so glad he plays in my division. And that sounds weird, but I get to see him so much. Even when I don't need to see him, I get to still
because you're going to see those highlights.
Because the Vikings are part of the NFC North, so I still get to see. It's been great watching because I got to see Julio Jones set the NFL single season game receiving record against Green Bay. I don't know if it's been broken by this time, but it was against Green Bay. It was at Lambeau Field. It was amazing. I remember seeing it, and it was just unreal watching it. And now I'm getting to see that same thing. I got to see it with Calvin Johnson, and I get to see it with JJ. Like, fuck.
I'm going to say this as my last remark. The one thing that I cherish and I just absolutely enjoy about doing this show with you guys, even Patrick, even though you're not present because your internet is acting wonky, is that, yes, we are number 1 fans of our own teams, and we will defend them fuckers till the day that Jesus takes us away. But secondly, the most important part, we are true, genuine fans of this game. And it's regardless of what team you play for, when we witness greatness, we're just like, yo, I was alive to see this happen.
Yep.
Like,
that's my favorite part about fantasy is that I get to watch people I, for one, honestly would never hear about or think about because they're not on the Green Bay Packers, right?
it forces you to have to watch outside.
Yeah. Like I get to deep dive Lamar Jackson now, and I've been so rough on Lamar. It was one of the reasons.
And now he's your quarterback
this year, and now he's my quarterback, right? And I'm like, bro, you could be having 30 fucking points if you would just calm down a little bit.
Hey, but it's only week one.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk about. Yeah, it's just it allows me to learn. Because while you're watching these players too, you tend to learn who they are as a human being. It's so cool. I think it's fantastic. You get to see more than just puppets on a string.
Yeah,
it's really, really nice.
The
So how do you guys feel about your upcoming week matchup here? I'm feeling
fantasy?
pretty good about mine. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about mine. It looks pretty close. I got 125 to 123.
I am. Let me see what it has me on.
I think they've got me this week is like 124 to 121, but I switched out Joe Burrow for Jaden Daniels.
Right now, I'm playing the 3%, whoever that is.
Yeah,
they got me.
Post draft, the 3% is picked to win the league.
I
lose to
Patrick. Yeah. So right now, I got a projection 123 over 119. I got to do a few changes, but I'm not gonna speak too much on that because I don't want him to hear this and be like, "Oh." But I'm trying to build a little streak here. Trying to build a little distance.
Yeah, I want.
But unfortunately, I got the reigning champion in my division, so we're gonna see how that looks like when that day comes. When do I play you? I don't play you till week 10. We got a lot of time.
We got
a lot of time.
You're lucky, motherfucker. You're lucky.
So we'll see that bridge. We may not be champs on the same league, but technically this is a champ versus champ. You know,
champ versus champ. Hell yeah, player. I'm ready for it. I'm excited.
You see the disgust on Mike's face.
Well, listen. When you're striving to be a champion, it's hard to hear other champions talk. I get it.
Listen, it is what it is.
My final comment on all of this will be this.
Yeah.
Saquon's gonna have a monster year for you, Paul. It's just that's what's it's gonna happen. Jake Elliott is one of the top 3 kickers in the league, and you got him. So you've got those two set. For me, it's all going to be coming down to finding the right Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow balance, depending on how Burrow plays this year.
I do Jaden Daniels over.
He played.
Yeah.
I love what I do love, and it's like what you guys were saying. What I do love about the fantasy thing is I don't know who Rachaad White is, but he's my starting running back, so now I have to know who he is.
Yeah,
it gives you, because look. I'm a fan of obscure shit, like in the NBA. Obviously, the Eagles, the only one out of the three of our teams who's won a Super Bowl in the last decade. That's fine.
Oh, you can say that now that we're in the next decade. Yeah.
I'm just saying. But really, what I love is you get that chance, like you said, to meet new players, to discover. Okay, who's Rachaad White as a running back? Is he somebody that I should invest in, or is this going to be a week 2 drop? And he performed, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see not only what that individual person can do, but like, all right, where are other people's heads at as GMs? What are you guys looking at to build your team? So getting other people's perspective, I'm gonna steal a bunch of shit from you guys next year because now I know how you fucking think.
I'm not giving all my secrets.
That's my favorite part about being in a league with champions, is that you can't just walk in and make the same peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, people are gonna go, dude, that guy's got grape in his pocket, and everyone fucking knows it. And then you come in and you're all shiny and you're like, hell yeah, and everyone's peanut butter, jelly, grape, and you're like, fuck.
Yep.
So
gotta change it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, you're right. You're right. It is. It's going to be fun. We've had a bunch of smack talk already. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
The touchdown taunting. That's been real nice. Best of luck to you, gentlemen, in your upcoming series. Of course, tomorrow is part 2, and that's where we're starting a new segment called the slowest 5 minutes in sports.
I love
And
it.
what we'll do is every week we're going to take 5 minutes for each game and break it down. Some games will take a little bit less. Some games might enjoy their rollover. Who knows? But either way, we're very, very pumped. So that'll be part 2. And it's weird for me to end this because we're doing part 2 tomorrow. But I think as you're hearing this episode, you're just going to go right into part 2. There isn't going to be a wait for anybody out there. This isn't Disney. We don't do that.
We're not doing
Terrible.
sequels.
Yeah. So we appreciate you all. Fantasy's back. Football season's back. I remember your wives in this situation and your girlfriends.
Who?
Swing by the store and pick them up some flowers, or stop on the side of the road and pick up a daisy. Just let them know that, hey, we still love you, and we'll need you after football season's over, of course.
Exactly.
Amen.
So, for everyone out there, thank you so much for listening. The world is a much better place with you in it, whether you believe it or not. And we love you more.